Rookie Bloggers, it's Coach Holmes here, another edition of the Rookie Blog. So in this week's blog, we're talking about beliefs, beliefs in systems and beliefs in ourselves. The reality is you can have all the greatest systems in the world or all the greatest techniques in the world. If you don't believe that those techniques work, then there'll always be something that comes along and messes that up. So, the start of this blog this week, did you believe in the techniques that I talked about last week? Did you practice them? If you believe in them, then you'll create your own world where they'll work for you. If you don't really believe in them, then it can be much more difficult to make them work for you. Okay, so take a read through the blog there. I think there's some good stuff in there. It's a little departure from what we've been doing lately, but I think it's important to understand that trading isn't all just pushing buttons. It's a lot of mental capital, and it's a lot of things that we need to understand, and we do need to have belief in ourselves and belief in our systems. And I talk about a few techniques in there this week about how to get those beliefs. So anyway, read it over. This little video is all about a little update here. So I want to go over a few of the techniques we talked about last week, and just talk about the overall trade here because I think it's important, and I think you guys will enjoy it as well. So last week we talked about a couple of things. So this is the 1-year chart of Grub. This has been our long call trade. So I'm going to go and I'm going to move this down to a 6-month chart here so we can see this a little better. So last week we talked about a few things. The first thing was we talked about taking, if you have multiple contracts on, taking some profit off the table and letting the rest of it run. Now what we talked about was moving our stop up because we had our way down here in this neighborhood, somewhere about here, and we talked about the run we got here and about a couple of techniques that we could use. So the first technique we talked about was taking in the ATR and going 1.1 times the ATR away from the current price. So the current price last week was 129.01. We took the 1.1 times the ATR. That got us down all the way to 124.02. Well, you can see here that this pulled back, start of this, late last week there. This pulled back here. Now, if we look at this, we can look at the low up in the top left-hand corner here. The low was 125.21, and the low of this one here is 125.42. So if you use that technique, that 1.1 times the ATR away from the current price, then you'd still be in this trade. And as you can see, we've had a heck of a renaissance here the last few sessions. So one of the other things I mentioned, now I did mention about some support down here at the 126. If you went just below the support, you probably got stopped out here. The other thing that I did mention is the 20 MA acting as support, and that would be this red line here. And it's almost fantastic how this actually came right down the 20 MA and turned around, did it again here, and then off to the races. So we're looking at a pretty tidy profit here right now. We go into the trade tab. We bought the December 120 here. Originally we bought it for 1650. We had our stop at 1150. We then moved that stop up to the 1450 level, and our 120 right now, if we sold it back to the market, we'd be getting around 22 bucks on it. So not a bad little trade, nice little return there. Again, this is where we go back to watching our positions, right? So now we're sitting here and we're looking at this and we're going, hey, you know what, this thing's moving up nicely, so where would we want our stops? Well, I would say right around here, right around this 125, just below this here. You could see that all of a sudden you keep your stop just down here. You let this thing run. Again, we are running into some resistance up here, but if it got up to closer to this 139 there, that's when I'd have no problem if you started tightening your stop up. Or again, if you have multiple contracts on, this is one of the times that you could take one off for a tidy little profit. Okay, so again, just this week's blog, again, it all comes down to belief in the systems. If you don't believe in what you're doing, then you've got to work on those beliefs, okay? And really, you can have all the fancy techniques in the world and you can have all this stuff, but if you don't really believe that it's going to work, then something's going to jump out at you, and you might tweak the system or whatever. So you got to sit down and you got to really examine your own beliefs about trading and about your life and about the world around you, and go through the exercise of sitting down and examining beliefs, and you'll find that